Trump's ICE force is currently being accused of secretly deporting an 82-year-old legal green card holder after going to an immigration office simply to replace his physical card after he lost his wallet. Longtime Allentown resident Luis Leon was granted political asylum in the US in 1987 after being tortured under the regime of Chilean dictator Augusto Pinochet, lost his wallet containing the physical card that confirmed his legal residency, so he and his wife booked an appointment to get it replaced. When he arrived at the office on June 20th, however, he was handcuffed by 2 immigration and customs enforcement officers who led him away from his wife without explanation. She herself was kept in the building for 10 hours until relatives picked her up. It's unclear why Leon was detained in the first place, and his family couldn't figure out the reasoning either. Then sometime after his detainment, a woman purporting to be an immigration lawyer called the family, claiming she could help, did not disclose how she knew about the case or where Leon was. On the 9th of July, according to Leon's granddaughter, the same woman called them again, claiming Leon had died. But the thing is, Leon is very much alive. A week later, they discovered from a relative in Chile that Leon was alive after all, but now in a hospital in Guatemala, a country to which he has no connection. The relative said Leon had first been sent to an immigration detention center in Minnesota before being deported to Guatemala, despite not appearing on any ICE deportation lists. According to Leon's family, he has never had so much as a parking ticket, so it's unclear whether Leon was deported by mistake or if this was intentional. His name wasn't even in ICE's online database of detainees. All ICE has said is they're investigating the matter but wouldn't give any more information. While things remain unclear regarding Leon's future, we do have word that over 200 Venezuelans who were sent to Seco, the terrorist intense prison facility in El Salvador, have officially been released. The Venezuelans were released as part of a prisoner swap deal, including 10 Americans. The Venezuelan government has been reported to imprison foreign nationals to gain diplomatic leverage. The exchange comes after a previous deal being negotiated fell through, and despite the Trump administration's insistence in court and in public statements that it did not have the power to compel El Salvador to return the removed migrants to the United States. A relative shared a video from Venezuelan broadcaster Telesur featuring his brother Arturo Suarez on the plane after it landed near Caracas. Quote, "We spent 4 months without any contact with the outside world," Suarez said. "We were kidnapped." He went on to say, "We got a beating for breakfast, we got a beating for lunch, we got a beating for dinner." However, the news of the release has mixed reactions. Dozens of Venezuelans sent to Seco had pending asylum applications in the US immigration courts when they were removed. In some instances, their cases have been dismissed by immigration judges. They could now be vulnerable to potential harm and persecution back in Venezuela. A very scary situation, as we just seem to repeatedly be deporting and mistreating people who are here legally, American citizens, the vulnerable, the sick, the elderly. I don't know what kind of country that is, but it's not actions that anybody of good morals can be proud of.
Yeah, so let's look at the Luis Leon case first. It's nuts, it's incompetent, and it's cruel. So a guy has a green card, he comes in to your offices to renew the green card because he lost it. Now guys, if you arrest that guy who's here perfectly legally, the message you're sending to all immigrants are, legal immigrants, not illegal undocumented immigrants, to legal immigrants who are playing it right by the book, don't trust the authorities. Don't go in, don't work with them, hide from them. If they ask you to come in, just don't, it's a mistake. Because it doesn't matter if you're here legally or not. And by the way, you know why? Because Stephen Miller put in a quota. Because Trump got his feelings hurt that Obama deported more people than Trump did. But at that time, a lot more people were coming in. With not enough people coming in to beat Obama, that's not a bad thing, by the way. They wanted to close the border, you close the border, take the credit for that, take the win. But no. Donald Trump's ego has to be satiated. So if you have to round up legal people, who cares? Round them up. You know, one of the details of this story gives you a sense of how they think about it. The guys who were, in these circumstances like Luis, they report that the ICE guys never call them by their real name. They just call everyone Mario. Oh, that's so not racist of you, right? And look, if you're gonna catch feelings because somebody uses the word racist, Then don't call everybody Mario who's Latino, a lot of whom are actually legal residents here that you've kidnapped illegally or your beloved Trump administration has. And so if you called all Muslims, yeah, hey, Muhammad, right? Again, you probably wouldn't mind and you'd think that was funny, etc. Okay, I don't even want to do this. I don't want to get into Jewish names and do other names and etc. But this is stupid. It's dumb. And if you say, oh yeah, I like, seeming racist even if I'm not. Okay, that's a weird thing to get off on. Okay, then let's go to incompetent. Why is he in the wrong country? Like you deported him, but he's a legal resident here, so you don't even know where to deport him, so you randomly put him in Guatemala. What the hell? This is so stupid. Then you don't tell anybody what you're doing with a guy who has legal residency here. You don't tell his family, and then his family gets this weirdo immigration lawyer. I don't even know what's going on with that person. And then they say he's dead. Oh my God, Jesus Christ, right? Does this look like a competent, decent, moral government to you? If you wanted to shut down the border, you shut down the border. If you want to take out undocumented immigrants who are criminals, you take out undocumented immigrants who are criminals, and you bother to check, are they criminals? If you want to appease Donald Trump's ego, demagogue, and play stupid games, you'd go round up people that aren't even here illegally, just to fill your numbers or whatever. And you send 82-year-old men who are sick down to countries that they're not even from, and then now he's got pneumonia, God knows if he'll recover. And then they put them in a dungeon, the second part of the story. They put them in a dungeon in El Salvador. We got them! And so now they release them to Venezuela 4 months later. So what is it? Of course what it is A, it's optics, it's PR. And what is the PR trying to tell you? That eventually we're gonna bring them to Venezuela where they're from? No, the PR, they're not mentioning that at all. The PR was, look at it, we're willing to torture them. Well, you must be so proud, and that's why they talk about the beatings day and night, etc. One of the guys that they took in was, this is the criteria they had. Venezuelan, for those particular guys, and has a tattoo. His tattoo was to fight autism. And he got taken down there and beat 3 times a day. So if that's what you're proud of, okay, have at it, Hoss. But I think, of course, we didn't sign up for it on the left or in the middle, but I don't think a lot of Trump voters signed up for that either, and that's what the polling indicates. Ben.
Well, I mean, I guess you're ignoring there, Cenk, the great rise in autistic gangs that are terrorizing the land. It's just so stupid, the level of ignorance of this administration. We all remember Trump arguing with a reporter, I think from CBS, about a clearly photoshopped MS-13 on top of, I think it was Abrego Garcia's knuckles, and saying, this is a tattoo saying MS-13, and the reporter being like, bro, this was photoshopped. Like, to not even have the ability to discern from tattoos supporting important causes versus tattoos that are not even tattoos. And now Mr. Leon or Leon, maybe I should have said, family has to go to Guatemala to try to save their grandfather. And this is the way our country is treating people who have built lives here and have been productive, wonderful members of our community, while Stephen Miller goes on Fox News and just laughs his ass off about, yeah, maybe we should be torturing some of these people, ha ha ha, and we should get rid of them all quickly. It's just like you said, you can enforce the laws. We should enforce the laws. Biden didn't do a good enough job of securing our border. But to not have as the very bare minimum to do it with humanity, to do it in a way that doesn't invoke fear in the populace, and that doesn't do it in a way that is humane, is just disgusting. And it's not American, and I don't know why. I hear what you're saying, that a lot of Trump voters didn't vote for that, but they didn't vote against it because Trump was making pretty clear he was going to be very aggressive. He was making pretty clear he was going to be using detention camps that were already being likened to concentration camps, and then he's doing it, and you can't be shocked by it.
Yeah, so last couple of things here. A lot of his voters did vote for it. So don't get me wrong. So a lot of them didn't, and the Joe Rogan types going, wait, well, I didn't ask for this. And then there's others going, yes. So that definitely exists, and it exists in serious numbers. So number two, look, I got a green card. That's a pathway to citizenship, and then I became a citizen later. If as I'm going through that process, I'm at the green card stage, which is you have almost every right but to vote, right? And you're supposed to be treated like any other legal person here, right? That's what we were told, and that's what was true in America for a long time. Now they're basically saying, yeah, but you're not breaking the law if you're holding a green card, but the government is going to break the law and ignore what a green card means. And so we don't care. We're not going to follow the laws. And that's not a party of law and order. That's the exact opposite. And finally, that Luis Leon was from Chile and had escaped the dungeons of Pinochet. So for him to get transferred over to places where he might be greatly mistreated by the US government is a tragic irony. That's not where we're supposed to be. That's not what makes America great. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets its wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.